Alright, so we're up against a bunch of D3 players on Evelynn. They have a bunch of CC, but we're lucky enough to have a random Yummi player on our team. And this video is about what that looks like. This particular game was very special because our mid laner was semi-griefing after he didn't get help with trying to solo Shyvana on my red buff. It was kind of weird because I invaded her jungle to trade, but he decided that he wanted to kill her, and when that didn't work out, kind of started to run around the map. For those of you who didn't know, it's standard protocol that when one jungler initiates a vertical jungling pattern, the opposite jungler will start to vertical jungle as well, because if you run all the way to the other side of your jungle, you're wasting a lot of time when they'll most likely get your camp and then get away anyways. So it's a lot safer and prudent to just counteract their vertical with your own vertical jungling. We had a few close shaves in the early game. We got the Shyvana flash and then she barely lived twice. And then we did some absolutely crazy jukes. I had to turn on my scripts and then bam, slam, I was out of there. Even though Rumble conveniently didn't react to this at all, we still managed to get away because of Evelynn Hill passive super strong, and Rumble did burn Zoe Summoners when he was chasing them around in my jungle. If you guys didn't notice though, Shyvana only has 8 CS, her blue buff and my red buff, and she's messed up her clear route substantially and nearly died. So she can't really push it into my jungle now. She's too low on HP, so she's stranded. Her Gromp's still up, her wolves are still up, and she really has to back. All she can really do before she backs is maybe grab that scuttle if she's willing to risk it for the biscuit. So now I can take her wolves and Gromp. That's one of the issues with trying to defend your jungle when somebody vertical invades you. She vertical invaded me, I vertical invaded her, and she made the mistake of, after vertical invading me, to come and try to stop me on her red buff. So I took her raptors and her red. In her case, she just straight up just took my red and then come try to fight me. Problem is I got both of her camps and she wasted so much time just walking around that I got a really big lead up on her, and now I'm gonna get her wolves and Gromp as well. After finishing up her wolves, I go for a greedy back in a bush right near her wolf camp, and she sees the wolf trailing back, so she runs through the bush hoping I'm there, and she ends up seeing me right as I'm trying to back, so I hit her with a QE and I start to move away from her. I drop the charm. She's still pretty weak, she doesn't have any real items yet, so I'm just trying to get as far away from her as possible and utilize my passive healing by breaking combat with her. Gnar comes in and doesn't use his flash. I end up running by the bush and she just barely picks me off. I think in the end it was actually a really good trade because Gnar got a red buff, which is insanely good for Gnar to have in that ranged matchup versus Garen. Not only that, but I needed to back anyways, and Shyvana just left base, so she hasn't been farming at all. Yeah, she did just get a kill, but I had to back, and that wasn't really a great time for her to reset anyways. After coming out of base, I set up a full clear to try to hit level 6 ASAP and push my XP advantage I have over Shyvana, and it's pretty obvious that the dude is trolling. He just came off of a 5-game loss streak, and then the game before barely won, going 3-7, so that initial play really did tilt him. It's fine though, we're going to try not to type anything and keep cool. Everyone on my team is on their main champion, so this is still definitely a winnable game as long as I keep myself ahead. And I know it sounds funny, I'm 0-1-1, so you're not ahead, but trust me, I actually am. I'm several camps ahead on the Shyvana, which will allow me to hit my massive level 6 power spike before hers, thus giving me a huge upper hand. Once again, we see the stud Muffin Rumble making his way downtown through my jungle. I thought he was actually going to try to steal my camp here. Thank goodness he didn't, because I really do need this experience. Meanwhile, he is letting a mega wave crash mid, which makes me a very sad boy. Big boy Rumble finally back in lane. We drop down a W, flash on top of the Zoe, finish her off with a QER, and we're out of there. We nearly killed the Shyvana as well, but overall, this play sets us up in a really good position to maintain our lead and carry this game, so I can show you guys some thick, juicy Evelynn Yummi action. So far things aren't looking too good for us. It is 11-5 and I only have 1 kill right now. Don't fear, we have a lot of gold we need to spend. Yummi got fed up with her AD carry dying, so now she just wants to perma roam on me, and this is how it started. I know it's really easy to rip on this Rumble, but honestly, in this one play alone where he stops Shyvana getting Dragon and kills her, I think it redeems him. It's his hero arc that he desperately needed. course, me and this Random Yummi, we had our ups and downs, lots of picks, but here and there we definitely paid the price for asserting our map pressure. After that death we sustained, it's all about not dying at this point and just building up as many mesh stacks as possible. Luckily, Yummi seemed to understand and she let me have the kill. To communicate with each other, I would primarily ping out enemies we could already see on the minimap or upcoming spawning in objectives like red buff or dragon. That way she would kind of understand what we were doing and where we were going. Luckily, Yummi wouldn't ever just throw out her abilities before I was ready. She would always let me use my W first or normally let me lead the way. A lot of the times Yummis will use their spells way too early, giving away your position when you're not ready at all. At times you're probably wondering, well, why aren't you trying to kill the Shyvana or why aren't you chasing that person? Usually when we're going in for these picks, we have very limited vision because if the enemies are up a bunch of kills. Throughout this game, they've normally been up 5 to 10 kills on us, so we've had very little map pressure. So whenever I go in for a certain play, I have to know where their heavy CC is and understand where the enemies are on the map, otherwise I'll die and blow my mesh stacks. Since we are behind, I've communicated to Yummi that hey, we'll be power farming a little bit, especially while my ultimate is down, because if you look for big plays, especially when you or your team is behind on Evelynn, without your ultimate, you will die and waste all of your Mejaya stacks. Our Gnar split pushing bot and no one on their team can really match him, so right now we're just trying to stay alive. Our ultimate is up, so we're looking for a pick on their squishy backline. Twitch foolishly accidentally runs into us and we ult away to get away from the Shyvana. It's at this point I make a really big noob mistake and I go back in. I figured the enemies would scatter, panicking to try to stop the Gnar split push, but they're actually still in a death ball and I see that and I go in anyways when I see the Rumble ultimate. I kind of misread the situation. I saw the Shyvana and for whatever reason I thought she was on my team, so Zoe's out of position. Unfortunately, she does have a free hourglass, so it's really hard for me to kill her in time. My ultimate, I used it just barely too late. I was trying to ensure I had the proper damage on, and as you guys can see here, Yumi's really balanced. She heals me from half HP to full HP. We end up killing the Zoe anyway since we got her super low and pick off the Garen. The enemies are still 5 kills up on us at this point, but we're in a great position to carry, so we keep taking deep flank positions and trying to find where their Twitch is. Twitch keeps letting himself be known on the map, which is actually really dangerous for him. Whenever he shows where he is on the map, it allows me and Yummi to counter that and two-man him and kill him wherever he is. In this case, Twitch went in too deep, we kill his teammates, and then we just simply run him down because Yumi's a really balanced champion with really balanced hills and speed ups. But normally we would go for Twitch first since obviously he's squishy. I think the enemies have been spending a lot of time typing to each other and raging because there's been a lot of points in this game where we kill them where it doesn't make much sense. And the only reasonable explanation is I think they were rage typing, so they're not really paying attention to the map. They were so far ahead up in this game. At one point, they were 10 or 12 kills up on us with all the map pressure, and now they can just feel this whole thing getting pulled away from them. One of the biggest reasons why I love W max on Evelynn is it increases the range of your W substantially, which lets you set up a lot of deep flank plays. Here I landed my W on Leona from a mile away, plus the charm duration is increased per level on your W, so it's a 2-second charm duration once it's maxed. We then run her down and kill her. If my W didn't have that kind of range, I wouldn't have been able to press it on her in time, and we wouldn't have been able to get that deep, fast kill. It really speeds up the tempo of the game when you're running around and you're fed with a maxed out W. And of course, you max Q and then W second. I'm not saying max W first and then your Q second. I'm just saying I personally normally like W max on Evelynn or I max my E. When you're head on to Evelynn in particular, going for massive deep flanks, especially when you're paying attention to the enemy's respawn, is huge. Here Dragon was coming up, I timed the Twitch respawn to where we would have killed him there if my ultimate was up, or if I'd spent my gold, or if Twitch didn't have flash. If any of those conditions were true, it would have been a kill. And in hindsight, you may be like, well, you got yourself killed, you suck. Yeah, I know, I get it, but that's just the way you kind of got to play Evelynn in the mid-late game. Playing for true 5v5s is usually pretty bad, especially when their Twitch is extremely fed. You want to try to avoid those situations and just keep a perma stagger on the enemy team. In this case, the enemies overextend. They blew just about every ultimate to kill us, and I think Ezreal and the Gnar mopped them up here, so it actually didn't turn out too bad since the enemies did spend everything to kill us. Another example of a huge deep flank, as the red buff was spawning in, me and Yummi penetrated. We're waiting in this bush and we have some decent vision so we can see which side they're coming from. So if Twitch comes, he's dead. In this case, little Shyvana here is asking for it. She kicked on her sweeper, so I actually backed away momentarily to let her get closer to the bush so we'd have more time to kill her. And then I threw out the QE and we killed her really fast. After situations like these, we try to take 1 or 2 camps. In this case, since my ultimate's up, we only took the red buff and now I'm looking for Twitch. I saw Rumble was pushing really deep into their jungle, so I know Twitch is going to be nearby and he's extremely fed. He's already made himself seen, chasing down my teammates. We're going to kill him pretty much instantly. And that is Evelynn and Yummi in the mid late game, guys. Once Evelynn gets rolling and has purchased her Medjai's, once Evelynn has her jungle item in Medjai's, and the mid game hits and Yumi's perma on her, if the Evelynn knows how to position, she's gonna run away with the game. Even playing against diamond players, I made roughly 2 mistakes. I made roughly 2 or 3 mistakes where I got myself killed, where I could have easily not have died, and we still ran away with this game like it was nothing. And that's with their bot lane being insanely fed. Their Twitch here has like 12 or 13 kills. He's insanely fed, does an insane amount of damage. And their comp is really strong against Evelynn. They have the Zoe Sleep, Leona Stun, Garen Silence. It's not an easy comp to play Evelynn against. And if I didn't have a Yummi on my team, I would have been more likely to have dodged. And this is what it looks like when a random Yummi player meets a Challenger Evelynn player in Diamond Ranked solo queue. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Also, if you haven't heard about it, we have a second channel. I post videos on it every single day on how to play specific champions, the play style, the best runes, builds, everything like that. So if you're interested, feel free to check it out. My name is KingStix. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.